Recently, I was contacted by the team behind Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, and they asked me a simple question. Would you like to try our game, Nixium? Well, I thought to myself, okay. The game is highly beloved by the community if you have not heard due to excellent writing, combat, and the fact that the story can run you up to 63 to 148 hours. What the fuck? And a new expansion is about to be released called Lex Imperialis that's going to be adding even more content to the game. And as you guys might already know, I'm also a really big fan of painting Warhammer, so after several hours of some awesome character creation, some tactical turn-based combat, spooky visuals, voice acting, and wishing that Space Hulk Deathwing had been even half this good, the team behind Rogue Trader asked me to make a video about the game. So yes, this video is sponsored by Owlcat Games, but they did not come to me with a script to read to you all. They just came to me with the game, one that I think is going to speak very clearly for itself. So if you do just want a, sweet, fresh TLDR, if you're a fan of 40k, you're gonna love this game, not gonna lie. Also, if you're like me and you're a really big fan of D&D combat, you're gonna like this game too. Anyway,
follow me, brothers.
So this is a CRPG. What is a CRPG, you might be asking? Well, it's pretty much D&D on your computer. Think Baldur's Gate, Divinity, Original Sin, or Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. Just in space, with guns and laser guns and chainsaw swords and people impaled on spikes. In this game, you don't play as some dorky peasant, however, but as the Rogue Trader, as the title implies, a person of immense privilege and power in the Imperium of Man. You have been given what is called a warrant of trade, which basically means that you can do whatever the heck you want outside the borders of Imperial space. You can build some colonies, or broker some deals, or investigate ruins, or, just wage a little war or two. It's a little war that might lead to the death of unknown millions. You're pretty much a king with a void ship, and you're about to cause some trouble. Now, the story, it's going to begin with your rise to power, so I'm not going to spoil anything from the intro, but it kicks off with some betrayal, a mystery to solve, and just the right amount of plasma fire. In the end, though, you pretty much inherit a dynasty on the brink of collapse, and you have to navigate a sector filled with ancient threats, imperial politics, filthy Xenos scum, and whispers from the warp telling you to just stop watching this video already and go play the damn game because you're not going to regret it. There are multiple story paths that you can discover in your 100 plus hours of gameplay. There's some very deep companions in this game for you to meet and for you to get to know. And there's also a lot of major decisions that are going to lock you out of entire paths of progression in the game. So replayability is a real thing here. I think the devs were just trying to create like the 40k RPG to end all 40k RPGs, and you'll kind of see what I mean if you decide that you want to play it one day. Let's talk about the gameplay. You guys like D&D? Turn-based combat, really tactical, highly immersive. Unless you got that one friend who cheeses everything and ruins the entire game. Well, this is that game, just without the cheese. It is a turn-based combat style of game where positioning, abilities, and even your gear all matters. Also, the gear that you get actually changes the look of your character. Dudes, I hate it when you got a role-playing game that has a set look for your character. It's really annoying, but anyway, you're going to be going through the game just interacting with loads of NPCs as well as the world itself, using your skills in things like persuasion, threatening, inquiring, blowing stuff up, or just computer slicing to make your way to whatever outcome that you desire. And as you hack through that door console that hides treasures within and you blow up that rubble to explore previously unreachable areas, you are going to be making a lot of friends in this game to assist you in all this turn-based combat. So you get a lot of companions in this game, and every companion of course has their own archetype. You got the soldier, the psyker, the tech priest, but each character, including you, can be customized through this big-ass branching talent tree system that lets you fine-tune your party's roles. Eventually, you're going to be specializing into more advanced roles for your characters as well, so that soldier is going to become an executioner, or somebody could become a sniper, an assassin, a tactician, or just whatever. There's really a lot to unlock here with the character depth. It's a lot of trees and it's a lot of abilities, and it's kind of going to blow your mind a little bit. Ultimately, with any game like this, you're trying to make a party that really synergizes really well with each other so that, you don't become piles of space meat. Be warned, the enemies in this game, they're not stupid. There is cover in the game. You can use it. They can use it. all these abilities that you see that you can unlock on your action bar. Yeah, your enemies, they have abilities just like you do. You see this guy, he just summoned a giant void monster onto the battlefield. By the way, did you think this was just going to be a game where it's like your party of 4 or 5 versus like 2 or 4 enemies at a time? Dude, you're going to have like over a dozen or more like enemies that you're fighting at a time. And like, oh, look, it's a giant chaos space marine. Well, I guess there's also friendly fire, so don't shoot through your allies like I did a few times, like a complete noob. Don't judge me. Also, there is ship gameplay in Rogue Trader. Yeah, you get to control this giant space cathedral with blast cannons all over it, and you're going to be interacting with this thing a lot. You're going to be warp jumping across the stars. You're going to be managing a crew. You're going to respond to random events, of course, and of course there is ship-to-ship battles. So watch as everybody in your party, everyone that you care about, gets blasted into oblivion, or lead them to victory. Okay, the more that you keep playing Rogue Trader, like the more that the game keeps giving. I'm just giving you guys a brief overview. Like, I even got a Viking Space Marine in my party later on down the road, which was freaking awesome. The companions, the turn-based combat is so much fun. Like, it's a fantastic game if you like this style, this CRPGs.
Our faith makes us strong.
So anybody that has ever heard me rant on my cigar streams over on Twitch know that I love immersion when it comes to any sort of role-playing game. So if the voice acting and the world design and the music and the ambience are just poo, like, I'm not gonna like the game. Well, with Rogue Trader, this is where the game goes from pretty damn good to pretty damn great. Immersion in the game is very much top tier, especially because of the music, at least in my opinion. So just listening to your introduction to the soundtrack of the game when you first make your character, I mean, just listen to this stuff, dude. There's just all these haunting choirs doing Gregorian chant throughout the game. There's these pounding drums and ambient hums of machinery and just those there's much needed quiet tension building tones when something heretical is going on. Also, sometimes the music goes really over the top with like the epicness, and that's just what makes it so damn good, you know? The voice acting is also very solid in the game as you're interacting with all these characters. Each of those companions that I mentioned before, they have their own unique personalities, and all the performances throughout the game, at least what I've experienced so far, has been consistently really strong. You got cold and ruthless characters, some are emotional, mysterious, but they all like fit like in the world, in the setting. There's not really a single character that I can say that I didn't really enjoy in the game, but of course I had my favorites. Lots of details in the environment as well, just adding to that immersive quality. The corridors and the throne rooms and the research labs and the stations are all filled with, like, you know, the giant skulls and the coagulator terminals glowing in the dark, purity seals and the incense burners and the servo skulls. But the best part is that there's like all this like hidden stuff throughout the game to discover, all hidden in the environment that you can interact with depending on, like, you know, your skills that your party has. So be on the lookout for like hidden doors and pathways that, you know, another player might miss. And I suppose I should also say that if you enjoy a bit of lore, you're going to eat pretty well in the game, because Rogue Trader is full of data pads and books and even all these conversations and the questions that you can ask. Like, there is a ton of lore and a ton of story to be found. Like, when they say there's a lot of gameplay to be had in this game, like, you know, it's taking people like 60 plus hours to beat this game, like, you're gonna quickly see why. Like, there's a lot here, man. It's a whole world, man. So even if like you're one of like the 5 people watching this video and like you have no idea what 40K is, like, you're gonna learn the lore and the Imperium and how all this stuff works, and you know, just how horrible the future is in this universe. So just enjoy the nightmares. You know, the story is great.
We will crush the enemies of the Imperium.
I spent several hours with Rogue Trader, and honestly, I can say it's one of, at least in my opinion, one of like the best faithful adaptations of the 40K setting that I have played. And it's not just because it gets the looks right, but because it really gets the tone right. You know, you got the horror, but you also got the nobility and like the crushing weight of the Imperium and the little sparks of humanity that's buried under all that unnecessarily huge armor and ritual. The one thing though is this is not a very fast game. Like, this is not a casual experience, like a game that you play for like 10 minutes and then you're done. It's very long, it's very story rich. The tactical moments in the game, like during the combat, it takes a while, and it really rewards attention and rewards investment, mostly with cool loot, but also with a fantastic story. So if you're kind of like into these sorts of games, or if you're even slightly into Warhammer 40K, you really owe it to yourself to give this game a shot. Owlcat Games, like, honestly, I really want to thank you guys for just sponsoring this video and just giving me the opportunity to explore this grim and delightful corner of the galaxy and just geek out a little bit about 40K, which is not something I get to do too often on this channel. So it is very much appreciated. In my little dream world, I would be uploading more videos of me painting figurines on this channel, but that's not really what the Nixium audience is all about. But, you know, when it comes to RPGs and MMOs, like, we're all fans here. At least that's right. Guys, there is a link down below in the description if you do want to check out Rogue Trader for the very first time, if you're a big fan of Warhammer 40K. And I will conclude by saying that if you do decide to check out this untamed and wild and dark region of space as the Rogue Trader, always remember, the Emperor protects.